we're teaching, we're providing value, we're trying to stay true to what our followers followed us for, and it's just not reaching.
Hi, I'm Victoria, a licensed esthetician and laser tech. I am an influencer, also known as Skin by Victoria, and we own our spa here in Gilbert, Arizona called Skin by You. Welcome to your Besthetician. This is episode 5.
Number 5.
Instagram burnout is real. So we're
going to be chatting about Instagram burnout. I think this is something that we talk about constantly.
Yeah.
And we got asked the question on Instagram.
So her name is Carly Aesthetics on Instagram. She reached out to me and I just thought it was such a good topic to talk about because even if you're an influencer or you're not, Instagram burns you out. So
as a business owner,
So just talking about Instagram burnout, how to avoid it or just how to kind of manage it.
Yeah, and I think this is something I really want to be open and transparent that we struggle with right now. I think, we're running 2 Instagrams. We have the business and we have Victoria's influencer account. And as if you've listened to the previous podcast, you know the struggles we've had with Skin by Victoria. But yeah, trying to keep everything alive and keep the engagement alive, to teach, to reach new people, and then also for brand deals and to keep cash coming in as well. Yeah. And it's been stressful. I think it still is. Every piece of content. I guess we'll just kind of jump right in with kind of some main points. I think the first thing I'd like to talk about is a pressure to keep good content coming out.
Totally, yeah.
When you have an account that gets good reach and has done really well, you feel this pressure that every single piece of content has to be the same or better.
Yeah.
Which is draining because then if you don't get the same amount of likes, you're frustrated.
Totally,
especially if you feel like this piece of content's better. Yeah. Right? I guess I'll stop right there before I go on another thing, but
Yeah, and I think maybe a lot of people are confused with Instagram because maybe a few months ago your account was doing super well. And then with Instagram constantly changing, or I don't know if they're trying to keep up with TikTok, who knows, but it's just, it's draining and it's so hard to keep up with. Yeah.
Cause you don't know if it's you or the algorithm either, which I think is really rough is that I think we put pressure wow, I thought this was good and I thought people would like this and they don't. And is it you or is the algorithm not pushing it out? And that's what, I like to talk about a little bit as well is our content specifically is to be completely transparent. We've been losing reach and we've been fighting to get this reach back with what we had. And, everyone knows the story now. But we felt like we were on good terms with Instagram again. Totally. And we felt like the content should be doing well again. And we're teaching, we're providing value. We're trying to stay true to what our followers followed us for. And it's just not reaching. And what's frustrating to me, I think the past few days, I've been checking the insights of some of the newer posts and we've been slowing down, not posting every day. And what I see an issue is I talked to you guys last time, the next episode or the one before this one is about checking those insights and seeing what Instagram is, the information they're giving you. And what we're noticing is that Instagram is pushing our content out to more of our followers than non-followers, which is not good. That means we're not getting reach. But what's frustrating is that our followers are connecting with it. Yeah. They're commenting, they're saving, they're sending. And Instagram is still refusing to push our content out to new people.
It's crazy. We're getting the amount of saves and, shares that where Instagram should be pushing it out. And we've actually reached, our insights are, we've reached 1.3 million people within the last 30 days now. And when I go to post, it doesn't match up. So there's constantly new people coming to my page. And actually I have been growing a lot as far as followers go, but when you post, it's who is seeing my content,
It's Instagram's not giving your content to the people who are following, which is really frustrating. And they're all people who are in the industry. They're not fake followers. They seem legit people.
Do you think that it's because of me not posting every day? Do you think that has to do with anything? So people, obviously we're talking about burnout. So I think is it important to post every day?
We did slow down our posting to not, 7 days a week because we were trying to really dial in some of the content. I don't think necessarily that's it. I think nowadays a good piece of content's a good piece of content. And I have seen other accounts that can post once every 3, 4, 5 days and do great. And I think that's okay. And I think that goes back to the burnout thing is we did slow down because of that pressure, right? It got to a point where it was consuming us. And I know it's kind of our situation to have two different Instagram accounts. But it's just overwhelming, right?
I wish somebody could run just one account for me so that I didn't have so much pressure.
We'll get there soon too. And we can talk more about kind of long-term business goals, which definitely is the plan, to hire on somebody sooner rather than later. It's just really difficult hiring, and you want to take your time doing it, especially something.
You want to be smart.
Yeah, on Instagram. But yeah, we definitely will do that. And I recommend you, if you're a business owner right now and you can afford it, and you can delegate that, knowing that social media account can bring you clients, you have to see what the return of investment here is. If you pay somebody $50-$60 a day to post and engage for you, and you can get a client a day, and a client pays $100, that's a $50 ROI.
I think that too, when you if you can post every day and you're constantly in front of people's page, then you're constantly reminding people, hey, book your appointment.
Yeah,
hey,
and I think, I think
people
for us
get
too,
intrigued as
we
well.
have both Instagram, so that's where the difference is the influencer Instagram, we're not really selling too much on there.
Yeah.
So the Skin by You page, I feel less pressure on that page too. We just push out content because we want clients in the door, so it's a little bit easier. But on the influencer side, I feel pressure that every graphic, every picture, every video needs to deliver quality. It needs to teach somebody something or give them some kind of, we posted like a meme video today. So give them some comedy, something fun to watch or listen to. But that's pressure, right?
Totally.
Because I feel like if we're not giving that, Instagram doesn't. We just spend an hour curating, coming up with ideas, writing a caption, putting, all these things that go into an Instagram post. And then it gets 300 likes, which I don't want to complain about that. I think complaining about reach is hard too. Like we get 10K views on a video and people are struggling to get 1,000.
Yeah.
So I try not to really complain, but it's all relative, right?
I mean, the amount of time that it takes and the energy to put something together for Instagram is essentially hours. So it's really hard when you're constantly putting in all this work. It is like a side job. I mean, it is. And for a lot of people, it's a full-time job. So it's, to be honest, just to be transparent, I have been waking up every single day lately and I'm like, I don't want to post. I'm just so over it. I'm so drained and exhausted. And I think that a lot of people can relate in that aspect of just being so drained from Instagram and trying to keep up with everything. But then there's so much opportunity on Instagram.
Yeah, and then you try to put that energy and effort. That's the issue. Yeah. It's like we feel like we want to give up, and then we go, you know what? We're not going to give up. Yeah. And we curate this piece of content that we feel is amazing. Totally. And then Instagram says, this ain't it.
I will kind of give an example really quickly. So on my Instagram, I posted this graphic for Christmas. Yep. And, my insights, I'm not complaining. It has 588 likes, but the amount of shares the amount of reach it has. So I'll explain this one, and I'll put this screenshot up too. This one reached 3,700 followers and only 8,000 non-followers. Okay. So not a lot of reach, but we have 177 saves and 251 shares. Yeah. Like that's a lot, right? Yeah. That's a lot of people who are, they not just consume the content, they enjoyed it enough to share to their page or send to a friend or save themselves for later. So to me, and repost to their own account.
Yep. And then on top of that, 46 comments, right? So, and I think if we responded to a lot of them, let's say 20, let's cut it down to 20. Yeah. But that's a lot of comments, right? That's people, they really, they enjoyed the post, right?
And this type of content, before everything happened with my Instagram, my reach is definitely limited because of that.
But and that's where I can, you see the reach between followers and non-followers is big there, because normally we would be averaging, 3,000 to 4,000 of our followers. But then if we reach that many people and they're that engaging, then Instagram's going to just shovel that content out. And I can see other people who post similar graphics in this and it does better than ours. Yeah. Right? I know we're in a situation, like I said, this is a kind of a sappy podcast now. This is like, I guess us just complaining, but I think what we're really,
I think we needed a good venting podcast.
And I want other people to know that us as an account that people see as maybe that we got it figured out, we really don't. And I think what keeps me going, and I know it helps Victoria too, what keeps us going is just like, let's just keep providing value to people. And I think that's what I keep coming back to, is going, okay, it's not about the reach. It's not about finding new people. It's not about being a pop on Instagram. It's about connecting with people. And I think connecting to the community, connecting to other estheticians, connecting to clients, teaching people something new is something that we kind of have to keep grounding ourselves back to, of like, why did we do this? We didn't do this to be famous, right? The goal was never to be Instagram famous. We never would have knew we got to 16K, right?
Yeah.
I kind of believed in it. I knew that what we could do could grow, but being here now is surreal. But I think we just have to take ourselves back to when we were making the same content for 1,000 people. And we had no complaints, right? And I think that's what's hard too. Is
I think it's just mostly frustrating from a business standpoint.
Yep.
If we didn't have our own business, I don't think I would be stressing so much about it. But I mean,
knowing it's a source of income makes it really tricky.
But we are, again, have to say that we are thankful for the amount of reach that we do get because, I mean, if you look at our insights, they are really good. So it's just not what it was. But like if we would have looked back before anything or before I reached 10K, we would be so thankful for the reach that we're getting right now.
Sure.
So it's sometimes you just need to take a step back and be thankful and just remember that you're here to provide value and the people who, you know, follow you and support you, be thankful for that because there's so many people that honestly probably just watch you and admire you and you will never know, you know? So I think it's just, you know, being positive and having that different perspective. And honestly, if you need to take a few days and just turn Instagram off or have somebody else run your account for you for 3 days. I honestly, at this point, I kind of want to pay somebody for 3 days just to get a little break.
I think it's important to make sure you're not getting so consumed. And we've done it before. We've definitely taken our breaks before. We've went on vacation and taken little 3, 4, 5 day breaks. Yeah. And you just still feel the pressure. Good. Yeah. You still feel the pressure of like, okay, we got to get back and come on hard. But also, it's really important because it's not just the time it takes. It's just, everything that comes with Instagram, the highs and the lows, right? Because you're getting that dopamine, right? So when those dopamine receptors are hitting because a post is getting a lot of shares or saves or likes, you feel really good. And then the next day when you do it and it doesn't do that, your brain is used to that. And your brain wants that dopamine again. So then it puts you in like a state of like almost depression, right? So I think for us, you know, it's good just to get this out. It's good to kind of have this vent because it also does make me very grateful. You know, with this podcast, we want to be super transparent. Yeah. I think this is the main reason why I want to make this video is I wanted other estheticians who are growing or who are already grown to know that we still struggle. Yeah. And we've been doing this for a long time.
And you have to constantly just be so creative and think of new ideas. And I think that's another thing that's hard for me sometimes is coming up with an idea or even making a graphic that I'm trying to think of, okay, how is this shareable? Yep. How can I make this to fresh? Where, is it fresh and kind of putting my own touch to it and not copying exactly what somebody else did and making it my own. So I think that's the hardest thing too. It'll take me a good hour and a half or 2 hours just to make one graphic
and that's
because
after,
I want it to be shareable.
That's after coming up with the idea for hours before that of us going back and forth and trying to figure out like, is this even a good idea? Should you spend the time making a graphic like that? And then same thing with videos, right? With the reels that we make, we haven't done a lot of our teachable reels in a little while, but it's a lot to come up with. We have to come up with catchy hooks so people stay engaged and listen. And then on top of that, you know, the editing and the captions and putting everything to make it really consumable for people because we want to make sure at the end of the day, we're not putting out content just to put it out, right? We want to reach people and we want to teach people.
I think a lot of people can relate to literally spending an hour on one Instagram video or a post and it getting like 15 likes or something, you know, like I think, or whatever your low amount of likes or reaches, I think a lot of people can relate to where it's so easy to just give up. It's so easy to
and we've almost given up quite a few times. There's been a few times where we're just like, we're sick of this.
I mean, I've definitely had so many moments with Skin by Victoria where I just took a flat out like 1 month break or I posted like once a week and burnout is real. I think that it's one of those things that, I mean, in my opinion, I think it's okay to take a break.
Yeah, I agree. I think, you know, at the end of the day, if you're burnt out and you're not giving the best content and you're not doing the best you could do on Instagram, your followers aren't going to be happy, right? Like, because you're not giving them what they need. You're not be able to give your full self into it. So yeah, I do think it is very important because like I said, if we start watering down our content, which we've done before to keep posting because we got to keep posting, then our content's all watered down. Then it doesn't get reach. Our followers aren't learning. We're not teaching, right? And we're not reaching. I like that, teach and reach. That's my new thing. I'm going to put it on our Instagram, to Trademark. Reach and to teach, right? But yeah, if you're not doing those things, you're the audience is not going to be happy. So it's better to take that little break and take that step back away from your followers and come back rejuvenated, with fresh ideas, with motivation again, and then have some goals, right? Everyone should have goals for ourselves. Our Skin by You goal Instagram is different than our Skin by Victoria Instagram, right? Skin by You, we're trying to get clients in the door. We also want to teach. We want clients to feel informed. But Instagram, the Skin by Victoria Instagram is a little bit different. There's some different goals there. The goal is more importantly to grow and get new reach and inspire estheticians, and hopefully with Skincation that we're building is to build the community out, right?
Yeah.
So that's much different than our local Instagram that's just trying to get, the neighbors in.
Yeah,
right?
totally. So what would you say, like, if you are to take a break from Instagram, what would you focus on as far as when you are taking a break? What can like truly give you that refresh that you need?
Yeah, I think it's different for everybody. For us, it's good family time. I think it also depends on what's inspiring you. I think taking that step away from Instagram, especially if you feel like you're not getting the reach that you think you should be getting, is maybe taking a little step back and going, what's my goal here on this Instagram? So when you step back into it, you have a new mind. I think that was good with Skin by You is that we had a new mind when we stepped into this new Instagram. So there was less pressure on everything else, right? So when a post went viral, it was like, or not viral, when it got a couple 100,000 views, it's like, okay, that's cool. I mean, it's not the goal, but it's cool. But yeah, so I think taking a step away, getting inspired again, kind of recalibrating and going, okay, what's my goals with this Instagram here? If I'm a business, how do I get new people in the door? If I'm an influencer.
Or what your specialty is, I guess.
Yeah. Kind of like what your niche is in the kind of Instagram world. So I think that's important. And I'd be careful about consuming too much content during that break too, because it can feel pressure if you see everybody else posting and so much going on. But if that's what you need to do, I enjoy consuming content because it inspires me, but also where you're consuming from, right? I watch a lot of YouTube, maybe a movie, a TV show, something that can inspire me to do something funny, something cinematic, a new way to teach. So I think finding I don't think there's a one size fits all to kind of answer your question. I think whatever works best for somebody is best for them. But I think in a lot of those cases, it might literally be not logging into the app because you can feel that pressure when you see your friend
take a true break.
Posting really, really consistently, and it makes you go, oh, well, look at what they just got, right? Or somebody gets a brand deal. Or
I think everybody compares themselves to, other people, and it is hard when you're like, oh, I just want to get reach like them, or, it's so hard when you're constantly just comparing yourself to other people too. So that can also be a good refresher for you to take a step back and just kind of revamp and
realign those goals, right? See what those goals are. But that was a great question. But I think we'll just about wrap this one up. I hope that was informative for everybody else. It was a really good kind of event session, plus a really open and transparent situation for us. And we want to keep doing this. We have lots more stuff that we want to, I guess, spill the tea is what they say. Yeah. That we got some kind of like bombshells. And I think this was a pretty good one, knowing
I said that
you're
I was going to spill the tea and I didn't spill the tea, but I guess this is kind of spilling.
This is definitely spilling the tea.
This is the tea.
This is the tea. But there's much more. This isn't the one, but there's many more. So please subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed this podcast. Make sure you press the like button. Comments are always amazing if you guys have questions, comments, or concerns, right?
Concerns.
A good old like, I don't like this podcast is a comment, right?
Yeah, or what we could do better on.
Yeah, make sure you follow Victoria on Instagram, Skin by Victoria with 2 I's at the end. And
Victoria.
Our med spa is Skin by You, AZ. Thank you.
Perfect. Alrighty.